The wind cut through the narrow streets of Brooklyn like a blade, carrying with it the sharp smell of snow and exhaust. Winter in New York was never gentle, especially to those who lived day to day. Marcus Hill pulled his worn jacket tighter around his shoulders as he locked up his small repair shop for the night. The neon sign above the door flickered once before going dark. It had been a slow day, too slow. Marcus was a mechanic by trade, the kind who fixed what others gave up on. Old engines, broken scooters, rusted bikes. If it had wheels, he could bring it back to life. Business hadn't been good since his wife passed away 2 years earlier, leaving him with bills, memories, and a stubborn refusal to quit. As he turned the corner, he noticed a woman sitting alone near the bus stop. She was wrapped in a long grey coat, her hands gripping the arms of a wheelchair that clearly wasn't working right. One wheel was tilted at an awkward angle, squeaking every time she tried to move. People passed by without looking, too busy chasing warmth and time. Marcus slowed his steps. He told himself he was tired, that it wasn't his problem. But something in the woman's eyes, calm, patient, yet quietly resigned, made him stop. "Ma'am," he said gently, crouching down, "your wheel's jammed, looks like the bearing's shot." She gave a small, embarrassed smile. "I figured, it just happened, I was trying to get home." "I can fix it," Marcus said, already examining the damage. The woman hesitated. "I don't have much cash on me." Marcus waved the thought away. "Don't worry about that." He rolled the wheelchair closer to a streetlight, pulled a small toolkit from his backpack, and got to work. His fingers moved with practiced ease despite the cold biting into his skin. He cleaned the grit from the wheel, realigned the frame, and replaced a loose bolt with one he kept for emergencies. The woman watched quietly. "You do this often?" she asked. "Fixing things," Marcus smiled faintly. "Yeah, fixing lives, not so much." She laughed softly, the sound warm against the freezing air. "Still, it matters." Within 15 minutes, the wheelchair rolled smoothly again. Marcus tested it twice, nodding in satisfaction. "There you go, good as new." She reached into her bag. "Please, at least let me pay you something." Marcus shook his head. "No charge, just get home safe." For a moment, she looked at him as if trying to memorize his face. "Thank you," she said sincerely. "Kindness like this is rare." Marcus simply nodded, stepped back, and watched as she rolled away into the glow of city lights. He didn't ask her name. He didn't know who she was. To him, she was just someone who needed help on a cold New York night. As he walked home, Marcus had no idea that this simple act, done without cameras, without expectations, was about to change his life 4 months past, and winter loosened its grip on New York just enough to remind people that spring still existed. For Marcus Hill, nothing had really changed. His repair shop remained quiet, bills still stacked up on the corner of his desk, and each night he locked the door with the same tired sigh. The memory of the woman in the wheelchair had faded into just another moment of kindness in a city full of strangers. One morning, as Marcus was tightening a bolt on an old motorcycle, a sleek black SUV pulled up outside his shop. It didn't belong in his neighborhood. The engine purred softly, expensive and confident. 2 men in suits stepped out first, scanning the street like they were looking for something or someone. Then the rear door opened. Marcus froze. The woman from the bus stop emerged, the same calm eyes, the same composed smile, but everything else was different. Her wheelchair was custom-built, polished, and clearly top of the line. She wore an elegant coat and moved with an air of quiet authority. "Marcus Hill?" she asked. He wiped his hands on a rag, confused. "Yeah, that's me." She smiled warmly. "You fixed my wheelchair last month, on a freezing night. You refused to take a single dollar." Marcus nodded slowly. "I remember." "My name is Eleanor Wright," she said, "and I've been looking for you ever since." She gestured toward the SUV, and one of the men handed Marcus a thick envelope. His heart began to pound. "I don't need charity," Marcus said quickly, pushing it back. "I didn't help you for money." Eleanor raised her hand gently. "I know, that's exactly why I'm here." She told him her story then, how she was the founder of a medical technology company based in Boston. How a car accident years ago had taken away her ability to walk, but not her determination. How she had become a millionaire designing mobility devices for people who felt invisible, just as she had felt that night in Brooklyn. That evening, Eleanor said softly, I wasn't stranded because my wheelchair broke. I was stranded because no one stopped, except you. Marcus felt something tighten in his chest. I don't want to give you money, she continued. I want to invest in you. She explained her plan to renovate his struggling repair shop, expand it into a mobility repair and customization center, and put Marcus in charge. Free repairs for those who couldn't afford them. Paid contracts with hospitals and rehab centers to keep the business sustainable. You fix what others overlook, she said. That's exactly the kind of person this city needs. Marcus stood there stunned. For the first time in years, hope felt real, not fragile, not distant. A week later, a new sign went up, Hill Mobility and Repair. Business boomed, but Marcus never forgot the lesson behind it all. Success didn't begin with money or luck. It began on a cold New York street with a broken wheelchair, a small toolbox, and a choice to care. And Eleanor, she gained something too, a reminder that true wealth is recognizing kindness when you receive it and having the courage to return it.